Welcome again. Our session will start in 5 minutes. Welcome, newcomers. I hope you all feel ready to speak because this is speaking session. So I will be expecting everyone to take a turn to speak, to practice their speaking. If you have any troubles with your microphone, please let me know so I won't call your names. Welcome, Kajan. We'll be starting in 3 minutes. We'll be talking about recycling today. So you can start thinking of the vocabulary you know about recycling, your ideas, your thoughts about recycling, your experiences maybe. We'll be having some discussion parts and some vocabulary practice. Hello, Pema. Okay. So let me share my screen again. Okay, everyone, welcome to today's speaking workshop. Today we'll be talking about recycling for IELTS speaking part. I hope you all feel ready to talk. We'll have some like a small warm up. I hope after that you'll feel even better about speaking. So, like always, we will start with a tongue twister. It's a very famous tongue twister, actually. And I'll try to say it for 2 times, 1 time slowly, 1 time a bit faster. And good luck to all. Okay. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? So now I'll try saying it a bit faster. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? It's a challenging one. So whoever feels ready to try it, you can use the react button to raise your hand so I can see who feels like trying it. You can do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the tongue twisters are very good for your pronunciation. Yes, baby.
Okay, let me try first, ma'am. It's difficult, very.
It is.
Peter Pie. Peter Piper picker a pack of pickle paper. A pack of pickle paper. Peter Piper picked. If a Peter Piper picked a pack of pickle paper, where's the pack of pickle paper Peter Piper picked?
That was a great try. Thank you, Fairy. That was really good.
Thanks.
Okay. And Dave?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where is the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked?
That was great. Thank you. Another great tongue twister teller. Very good. Good, Tommy.
Peter Piper Peter Piper pickled a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where is the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Thank you very much, good Tommy. That was good too. Mariam?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
That was another great try. Thank you. Anu?
Peter Picker picked a pick of pickled paper. A pick of pickled paper. Peter Picker
Peter
picked.
Piper.
If Peter Picker picked a pick of pickled paper, where's the pick of pickled paper Peter Picker picked?
Thank you. That was a good try. Thank you very much. Okay, everyone. That was a
It's
very
really very
nice
hard to say,
try.
ma'am.
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. Okay. So what will we do today? I'll be sharing some tips and strategies for IELTS speaking part. We'll be working on some vocabulary about recycling. We'll have discussion questions, part 1, 2, and 3. So where you can give small talk, where you can give your extended answers, and where we can have deep discussion. And today's objectives are your experiences with recycling. In this lesson, you'll learn to talk about your experiences with recycling, description of an environmental problem, and your thoughts about recycling. So here are some tips and strategies for IELTS speaking part. So always give clear and specific answers to the questions. You'll make some errors. Don't worry about them. Like I always say, if your sentences with errors are less than your sentences with your like it again. If your error-free sentences are more than the sentences with errors, you're on good track. Instead, correct your mistake if you can and keep on speaking. Self-correction is a very good skill. And always be confident and smile. So today we're gonna have 8 words about recycling. They will go as reduce, responsibility, biodegradable, for the sake of something, separate or separate if you're using it in verb form, reuse, awareness, and preserve. So some of them are phrasal verbs, some of them are verbs, adjectives, and nouns. So now we'll see their definitions and we'll try to match them. And after matching them, we'll try to use them in a sentence. You can write your matchings in the chat box. So I can say this is correct, this is not. And after that, we'll try to use them in a sentence. Okay, maybe today we can go like this. To keep something as it is. What verb, what word can it be? To keep something as it is. Preserve. Yes, that is correct. To keep something as it is preserving. To preserve. Sometimes we preserve, for example, food as well, like in canned food. And sometimes we make pickles. That's another way of preserving food. But we also need to preserve the nature too. So who wants to use it in a sentence? Preserve. Anyone? Preserve. Yes, baby.
Okay, I always preserve lots of bitter. You can say that. What can I say to Miss? A word is for spicy bite. You can say that. Okay, I keep. I always preserve spicy bite in my refrigerator.
Yes, that's good. I think Dave also wants to use it in a sentence.
I preserve my food by refrigerating it.
Okay, very good. To preserve nature is also our responsibility. We can say that. We can preserve environment from damage by reusing the things. That's a very good sentence and very relevant to today's topic. Okay, next definition will be to become or to make something become smaller in size, amount, degree, importance, etc. What can it be? Reduce, very good, reduce. And who wants to use the word in a sentence? Reduce. Maybe you can think of a sentence about recycling or environmental issues too. Reduce the effect of something. Anyone? Reduce the use of something. You can think. Yeah, I reduce my waste by recycling it. We should reduce the usage of polythene bags. That's a good word, a good sentence, good example as well. Thank you. You can also use react button to raise your hand and to tell your sentence. That's also another option. Okay, here comes the next definition. To cause to divide into parts. Separate, yes. When we use in verb form, we say separate, but sometimes we use it in noun form as well. That time we say separate. Separate. It's a very common word in recycling. It's the base of recycling, actually. Who wants to use it in a sentence? Please try to say it. Any example is appreciated. Yes, Dave.
I try to separate the cattle from the sheep.
Oh, you try to separate the cattle?
The cattle from the sheep.
Oh, okay, the cattle from the sheep. Okay, that's a separation. We should separate the wet and dry wastes. Yes, Denny?
Different substances are separated before recycling.
Very good. Thank you very much. Both were good examples. Okay. A new definition. Something that is your job or duty to deal with. Responsibility, yes. It's another common and important word when we talk about environmental issues and recycling. And to have responsibility for, it's our responsibility to, you can use these sentence starters. Who feels like using it in a sentence? Yes, baby?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. It's our responsibility not to waste our natural resources.
It's our responsibility not to use our natural resources.
Not to waste.
Not to waste our resources. Yes, thank you.
Our natural resources.
Yeah, thank you. Anup also wants to use it in a sentence. Yes, Anup.
It's our responsibility to keep clean our environment.
To keep our environment clean, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Denny, let's hear from you too.
Caring the environment is one of our responsibilities.
Very good. Okay, let me move on to the next definition. We have a lot to work. And to decay naturally and in a way that is not harmful. Biodegradable, yes. And we have now biodegradable plastic bags and all, or bottles. Pema, do you want to use it in a sentence?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We should separate the non-degradable and biodegradable.
Yes. Waste.
We should separate the waste non-degradable and biodegradable.
We should separate the waste as non-degradable and biodegradable. Yes, that's a very good example. Okay, let me move on to the next definition. Knowledge and understanding of a particular activity, subject, and etc. Awareness would be the word. Yes, raising awareness, having an awareness, being aware of something in a collocational use. It's another common and important word in environmental issues and in recycling. Who feels like using it in a sentence? Yes, Dave.
It's our responsibility to raise awareness on global warming.
It's our responsibility to raise awareness on global warming. Thank you. Okay. Because of or for the purpose of something. So we have one options anyways. Yeah, for. It's too long to write, right? For the sake of something. So for the sake of environment, we should do things, right? Yes, Pema? Okay. Pema, if you want, you can use it. You can use for the sake of something phrase in a sentence. Or I can hear from Danny.
For the sake of environment, we should really
Just
implement tree art in our daily life.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So let me move on with the next task. So as you know, here we do fill in the blanks activity where we use the vocabulary we just practiced in sentences. So please go over the sentences quickly. For number one, what can we say? Awareness.
It's awareness.
Yes. I spread awareness about the importance of recycling in our community. Spreading awareness is also another phrase. Thank you. Number two.
Maybe reuse.
Reuse. Yes, I make sure I reuse bottles, cartons, and plastic bags as something useful. And actually, like when there is the prefix re in the beginning of the sentence, it means again, like reuse, using again, or replay, playing again. So you can use this logic to guess the meaning of the words. Okay, number three, I
Reduce.
The use of plastic bags by carrying my cloth bag for shopping. I do that too. Number four,
Separate.
I try to keep plastics separate from other recyclable materials. Here we use it in noun form, I'm sorry. So that's why I call it separate. Okay, number five, Miriam says responsibility. That is true, and the others as well. It's our responsibility to conserve the environment. True. Number six.
For the sake of.
Yes, for the sake of the environment, we should reduce the use of plastic bottles. That is correct. And number seven.
Preserve.
Preserve, yes. Efforts to preserve the peace have failed. We couldn't preserve the peace in the world. And we have only one left. Number 8. Biodegradable. All active ingredients of this soap powder are 98% biodegradable within 3 days. So we finished our practice, vocabulary practice. Now it's time to start our discussion. So here I have one question. It is, do you recycle now and why? And this is my example answer. As I said, it's from like 2 to 4 sentences, maybe maximum 5 sentences, and maximum 40 seconds, let's say. Yes, I do, because I'm a responsible citizen. I recycle things like PET bottles and aluminum cans, and I use them as flower pots. Also, my pen holders are made of milk and juice cartons. I really find ways to practice the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. And I avoid using plastic bags when I go shopping. These are just my little ways to help conserve the environment. So now my question is for you. Do you recycle now and why? And this time, everybody will have a turn to speak. Not the same people all the time. Who feels ready to start? do you recycle now and why? Yes, Mariam, let's start with you.
In my household, we do think that recycling is a very important thing to help our environment, but I don't think that we use it that much. We could reuse some cartons and milk cartons and other plastic bags, but we don't usually separate our trash into different piles. We just throw it away, and I think our country used this trash and they separated it themselves. And a really new thing that happened that they stopped using plastic bags in shops and they started to tell all the people that they must use paper bags, um, and that's something that annoyed my mom a little bit because it's a little bit expensive.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariam, for your answer. Who wants to continue? It's not that hard. I'm sure you have something to tell. Yes, Dave.
Yes, I try to recycle now because I'm a civilized person. I try to recycle natural resources such as timber because when I recycle them, it prevents wastage and therefore I can use my resources in order to get other things. When I recycle, I save my resources, be it monetary resources or other type of resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. That was a very clear answer. Who else? If you don't raise your hand, I may pick you to speak. Good, Tommy. Shall we continue with you?
Ma'am, I will tell you at the last, ma'am. I didn't prepare for
Okay,
it.
you want to be the last? That's fine. Farzi?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think recycling is very important as it protect our environment. And I also recycle. I remember in our school time, we use plastic bottles and cans for uh, 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 sorry ma'am, for
For
planting.
activities.
And yes ma'am, and also we made our pen holders from cartons. And uh, that's all ma'am.
That's all. Thank you, Farzin. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Pema?
Thank you so much. Well, I do because each and every people are responsible to segregate waste of wheat, dry waste, and hazardous waste. In our country, using of plastic is banned and created or instructed to use handmade bags while shopping and whenever we go.
Okay, thank you, Pema. It was another good example. I think Anup was ready. Yes, Anup.
Yes, I do because we are responsible for. No, no. Yes, I do because
We can't hear you. Did you stop speaking or we just can't hear you? Anup?
environment.
I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you. I think your microphone was off while you were speaking. Can you repeat your answer, please, Anup? There was something with your microphone, Anup. So I'll ask Fairy to speak now, and after her, let's try with you again, okay? Yes, Fairy.
Honestly speaking, as I do sometime, but once in a blue moon. But I really, I really reuse my baby food container again and again because I put something else in that, and sometimes, but always, I can say that I always I always use uh, paper bag whenever I go to the shopping, and I try to use paper bags whenever I go to the shopping because being a good person, being a responsible person, we should show some of the concern how about recycling and minimum use of uh, plastic bags and plastic bottle, but it's unavoidable because everything now is coming in the plastic bottles, and from from, you can say that, from ketchup to jam, it's all in the plastic. So it's unavoidable, but I whenever I purchase some things, or I try to select the pouches which is convenient and which is very useful, and we can just waste them after using them. So
Okay.
it's all.
Okay, Fairy. That was an extended answer, actually. Thank you very much. And good, Tommy. Now we can hear from you.
Yeah, I use it to recycle paper bags, papers, and plastic bottles, cottons for decorating my home. Uh, I use the papers to decorating and for doing the crafts, which looks beautiful and which makes my home beautiful. And I recycle this plastic bottles too for decorating the like pots. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I encourage you to carry jute bags rather than plastic bags. And I also uh, give awareness to my family members for about the 3 R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gutami. That was a good answer. Anup, do you want to try again or shall we skip? Okay, let me continue. I hope we can hear your answer better in the second question. Okay. Do you think recycling is important? It is very important because it reduces waste and gives what we call garbage a second lifespan. It also saves money and the environment. So, in the first question, I kind of let you to speak a lot. I mean, to speak very long. So, here, please try to keep it short, like my example answer. Okay? Do you think recycling is important? Whoever feels ready can start. Fairy, shall we start with you?
Okay, ma'am, I try to speak in a minimum 2 or 3 sentences
Yeah, short
because
one.
it's okay. um, uh, um, in my eyes, I think recycling is very important because it's a good way to reuse the items and reuse the plastic bottles and plastic bags, and it's inexpensive too. uh, you can everyone can, government especially, can save money from it, and always and also we have a less we have a good environment effect of it.
Okay, thank you. You'll have good environmental effect by doing it. Very good. Maria?
Yes, definitely. Recycling is very important because it does reduce our air pollution and water pollution and reduce greenhouse gases. And by doing it, it also makes our doesn't make a very big carbon footprint about ourselves. And yes, it is
Thank
very
you.
important.
Thank you very much, Maria. Zaif?
In my opinion, I think recycling is very important as it helps you to save natural resources such as water. When we recycle water, we can use it for various domestic purposes. And also, by recycling, it helps us to get creative and reproductive. It increases our technical abilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zaif. Very clear answer again. Gutami?
In my view, the recycling is a very significant thing because recycling any item, we can reduce the pollutions and we can keep the environment clean. And the recycling is sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. That was enough actually. Like I just needed a very short answer for that question.
Okay.
Don't be sorry for anything, okay?
I have more points to say, but right now I'm not getting them.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll have a longer extended speaking in a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Farzeen?
Yes, ma'am. I think recycling is very important because it protects our ecosystem and wildlife, and it also conserve our natural resources and saves energy, and it also reduces to harvest new materials, and also it reduce carbon emission and save money.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
that's true. Thank you, Farzeen. Pema?
In my opinion, it is very important because it helps to earn the money as well as it helps to save the money of government by reducing the waste.
Thank you. That was short but clear. Thank you. And lastly, Denny?
I personally believe it is really mandatory because it has to reduce the different type of pollution to some extent, which ultimately lead to good public health. Besides this, we can also create innovative things from recycling.
Thank you. You all gave me answers from different perspectives. It's very like enriching for me to hear those answers. Thank you very much for you all. And like mini feedback, all of your answers were really good in terms of grammar. Thank you very much. Okay. So now we have this section 2, discussion section 2. So here you will have 1 minute to prepare and 2 minutes to speak. In this task, you will describe an environmental problem or event. You should say, what is it? Where is it happening? What problems does it cause? And how you feel about it. That is an example speech. And you can also use the vocabulary that I put here: global warming, biodiversity, biohazard, climate change, contaminate, eco-anxiety, pollution, greenhouse effect. So please look at the example speech and look at those sentences. I will start the timer soon. And like I said before, don't speak like answering questions one by one, but instead try to make a cohesive speech like a storytelling, okay? So let me start my timer for 1 minute. You can start getting ready. Okay, time is up. Everyone will have 2 minutes to speak. I will record your timing as well, and I will take notes about your speaking to give you a very clear feedback in the end. Who wants to start? Like I said, everybody will speak. Any hands? Any ready person? Okay, we lost some of our friends. Yes, Mariam, let's start with you.
Well, I'm going to talk about water pollution. It is very popular these days because there's lots of people that refuse, not refuse. There's lots of people that what is it called? Throw their trash in rivers and waters, not thinking too much about it. But there's lots of people from all around the world drinking from these rivers and or tap water, thinking it is clean because of the color of it, but inside of it there might be lots of viruses and bacteria that might kill them. Lots of people get killed by this pollution of water every single year. I think it's a really a big problem that must be solved, and some of the ways that we can solve it is trying not to throw our trash in different places near the beach, in the beach or near any rivers or lakes. I could also say that one of the big big solution uh, um, big solution of what is it called um, water pollution is that we need to stop some companies from throwing their toxic waste in rivers, because this affects the water very much, and we need to put strict laws on this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mariam. I will share my feedback in the end. And yes, good, Tommy.
I would like to talk about the soil pollution as a former daughter. I'm experience many changes in farming, and there is a lot of change in the soil fertility of the soil. Uh, in my childhood days, there are less use of pesticides and fertilizers, whereas come nowadays we are using a lot of pesticides and fertilizers for every crop, uh, and these fertilizers are leading to reduce the soil fertility, and this becomes soil polluting soil a lot. And for yielding of another crop, uh, the soil is not suitable for the most for different crops.
Mm.
And this soil pollution also caused because there is a one chance of there is a one reason has climate change, uh, because because of the climate change, the farmers are using different types of pesticides to get a crop, to get a proper crop at the within a short time.
Mhm.
So these fertilizers results in the polluting of the soil, so it loses its fertility.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Gutami. Thank you very much. Okay, Dave, you can start.
I would like to talk about air pollution. Air pollution in the form of release of carbon monoxide from chimneys. This is happening in a steel manufacturing industry in Abuja, Nigeria. What are the problems that this can cause? It is quite hazardous to health. It's hazardous in the form of that it can inhibit erythropoiesis, which is production of red blood cells. Also, it can cause hypoxia. Hypoxia is a situation whereby you don't have enough oxygen, and the subsequent effects of this hypoxia is necrosis, which is death of our skin cells. Also, it affects the normal atmospheric flora of the environment. In the environment, there are normal gases that should be there. There are even normal bacteria that should be there. When these gases are released from these chimneys, they affect the atmospheric flora of the environment. Also, it inhibits economic activity because carbon monoxide gas is released from these chimneys. They inhibit economic activities such as flights because if the sky is not clear, the planes will have to be grounded. And if they are grounded, the economic values that we get from transportation in form of flights are lost. Also, it creates a foggy view in the sky. When it creates a foggy view, it decreases visibility. If we don't have visibility, we cannot move. And so it affects us. There's also an important issue of global warming. Global warming is an important issue which is discussed everywhere, including the United Nations General Assembly. All presidents, all prime ministers from the world's most important countries are discussing about it, and we hope that in the nearest future they will find a solution in order to keep our earth safe, our environment safe, and help us lead a happy life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like, let me show my timer. Wait, can you see? 2 minutes. Exactly.
Okay.
That's great. Okay. And Pema, welcome back. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, due to connection, I lost.
It happens sometimes. So you have 2 minutes to speak
Okay.
about an environmental problem.
It's okay, madam. Yeah, I will go ahead, no?
Yeah, you can start.
Uh, yeah, I would like to talk about global warming. In our country, Bhutan is facing these days. Uh, our government is trying to give awareness of global warming and its problem and its effect in every corner of Bhutan. For example, last Saturday, the government had conducted snowman race to know the effects of global warming and the climate change. At the end, we people, the people of Bhutan, knows the past and present differences of climate change and global warming. So at the end, the people knows how the glaciers and the snow melt and which it affects the people and the communities as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And who feels ready to continue? Farzi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I think the major environmental problem is waste management. It causes landfill incineration, and which also cause air pollution, soil contamination, and it also changes our climate. And due to which flooding and transmitting diseases in peoples also occur. And also if air pollution occurred, then most of the gases which release into the atmosphere and thicken the ozone layer, and due to which uh, our weather changes and melt ice caps, due to which sea level also raise, and that cause negatively impact on our nature habitats. And there must be awareness among citizen, as as it is most important, because there is a lack of awareness among people.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a good one. Okay, Danny, let's hear from you.
Let me talk about the rise of water level on sea. People really don't talk about this issue, so it's the underrated problem created by the melting of snow. As the temperature of Earth goes on increasing, due to different factors like greenhouse gases, like emission of smoke, we must nowadays it has been a serious problem of country like Maldives, which is really close to the sea. Mm, Besides the small island, which is mostly affected, the beautiful mountain are also losing its natural beauty, which may alter the mountain ecosystem and biodiversity, and it might lead to the serious problem in future. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Okay. And lastly, Fairy.
Okay, ma'am. I'm so afraid of this 2 minutes talk.
Oh, don't.
Okay, let me start. I would. Can I tell you about the event?
Sure.
Okay. I would like to say, I would just like to talk about the trash which are spreading by the people nowadays on the seashore, basically. People are spreading, a lot of people uh, eat there and throw them anywhere else, and these create these papers and these plastics create a lot of problems to the environment, as it's become a big problem for public to sit on the seashore because of the trash everywhere, and they don't put them in the litter bin, but they spread them in the on the seaside, and it's create a lot of problem for the marine life also, because it sometimes it go to the depth in the sea, and it is eaten by some of the turtles or fishes, and they are even dying from these waste of plastic, because plastic is you can say that it's uh, undissolvable undissolvable in their stomach, so they quickly died for that. So it's create a lot of problem for them. So I feel a little bit, you can say, I feel very worry about the environment, because I am very very worried about the environment, because it's affect the marine life, and it's affect the it's decreased the value of our natural amusement uh, seaside, you can say that, because uh, that's it. I just want to not to say anything. I'm afraid
Okay.
of speaking.
Thank you. Though you don't sound like you're afraid.
Ma'am, I always done mistake in this session. Means in 2 minutes talk, I don't know how what to say in this and how to balance and how to maintain a sentence by sentence. So I could get a highest mark in that. So
Okay.
I face problem in it.
Okay, so what I recommend everyone is that so here you know the topics. I mean, recycling, pets, neighborhood, festivals. So these are the general topics. I recommend you to write down a text for yourself to practice. So maybe if you're lucky enough, you can like have a question about that. At least you can organize your thoughts and seeing your thoughts
Yes,
organized.
I'm less organized. You can say that.
Yes, yeah. So like start organizing your thoughts by writing, then maybe you can start thinking more organized way as well. Okay?
Okay,
Just
okay.
pick
Thank
yourself
you.
a topic. For example, after today's session, you can sit down and write a like extended answer for that topic. Okay?
Okay.
So
Thank
you
you.
can write it nice. You're welcome. Okay. And that's it. I think everyone had a turn to speak for that thing, discussion. So I will continue with the third one, part 3. So again, like here, you can be somewhere in between the extended and the small talk. So you can give me some answers. And I have 3 questions. I want to use my time effectively as well. So, do you think it is mainly the role of governments or individuals to make sure people recycle? How has recycling changed the way individuals do their daily shopping? And why have people's attitudes towards recycling changed over the last several years? So, you can think like you have around 1 minute to speak that part. It's just practice. Choose one question and please answer it. So I can have time for feedback as well. Whoever feels ready can start. No one feels ready? Do you want me to pick you up? Yes, Dave.
I'm going to answer question 1. Do I think it's the role of government or individuals? Okay, in my opinion, I think it's neither the sole responsibility of the government nor the individuals. On the part of the government, I think it's the duty of the government to enact laws that will help make sure that people stick to recycling and continue recycling their products instead of disposing them away as trash. Also, government should develop incentives to enable people see the importance and also enjoy recycling products. If they provide incentives that you will make more money if you can recycle these products, I think people will become much more interested in doing this. While on the part of the individuals should see it as a moral responsibility in order to protect the environment. If you protect the environment, you and I can live a longer life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. And next. Yes, Pema.
Thank you. Government should insist to the rules and regulations about the recycling, and each and every individual should force to implement to practice to have a clean country forever.
Mhm. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Pema. That was a very short answer. Anyone else? Baby?
Should I give three of answers or one answer?
Just
One
one.
of the
Just one. Mhm.
just one.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, just one of them, whatever you choose.
Okay. How has recycling changed the way individuals do their shopping?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, I think I should use last one. Why have pupils' attitude towards recycling changed over the last several years? I think so. In my eyes, people have changed their attitude towards recycling because, as everyone knows, the plastic bags are plastic bags and bottles are not easy to decompose. They are really hard to decompose, and there's a toxic substance release in the air also and in the soil also. So people have changed their mind, and they have just changed they just try to use the cloth bags rather than plastic bag. And it's of course the main role and the main awareness given by the government. They have created much awareness to the in the public, that these things these and that's why I think so people have changed their attitudes from several decades, or you can say that from 2 or 3 decades they are not using plastic bags, and they have changed their mind and their attitude uh, towards recycling, and
Mm-hmm.
they just try to use another thing instead of plastic bags and or bottles and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Is it relevant?
Yeah, it's a relevant answer. Thank you. And actually, it covers the questions 2 and 3. So it can be relevant for both questions. Okay. Anyone next? Farzin or Gutami? Do you feel like speaking, or are you just tired? You can tell me if you don't feel like speaking now, but you
Ma'am,
can. Yes, Farzin.
ma'am, third question. I'll give
Third
answer third question.
Okay.
Why have people's attitude towards recycling changed over the last several years? I think people change their behavior as they start taking responsibilities for their waste instead of past era, because many diseases are spreading, and uh, our environment also damaged. So they paying attention to save environment, and also um, they um, they think about the impact of waste on the environment. So they change their behavior, and they also use reusable bags while in shopping also. And that's all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Farzin. And lastly, Gutami. Okay, you're not answering this time. That's totally fine. Okay. So here is the rubric that is used by IELTS to grade your speaking. You can make a copy of it. You can also find it on Google. It's Speaking Band Descriptors, public version. I'm not going to be telling like what band you are in. I kind of avoid that, but I want to give feedback to all of you. First of all, today I'm really impressed with your terminology used. All of you use relevant terminology, relevant vocabulary about what you spoke. That was very good. That was very impressive for me. So if you were talking about air pollution, you were using relevant vocabulary. If you were talking about, I don't know, the waste management, I could hear the relevant vocabulary. So that was really good. So Dave, you sound very knowledgeable about the topic, so that would give a very good impression on the examiner during the test. And your speech was always very organized, as if you're reading from somewhere. I will be sharing my feedback, and as if like you're reading from somewhere, and I think it was very clear and cohesive. And only one feedback about one pronunciation of a word, hazardous, we would say, as the correct pronunciation. Theory, I heard many self-correction from your speech. That was really good. So you're well aware of your grammar mistakes or like vocabulary. That is very good. But as I said, I recommend you to organize your thoughts, and maybe you can practice this by writing your thing. As I said, I would avoid giving band, but I would say around 6.5 and 7. And Pema, I heard some like self-correction in your speech too. Your answers were very clear, very relevant with the question. I think that was very important. Only your answer was around 1 minute. It could have been a bit longer, so you could have said a bit more about the environmental problems. And Maryam, again, like you've been attending our sessions all the time, and I can hear that you're improving every time. I would also give one or two feedback to you about the vocabulary you're using. For example, when you say water pollution is a very popular environmental problem, I would say popular is something that we use more like for positive things. So popular trend, popular movie, popular song, maybe you can say common or important or, I don't know, crucial. It can be seen everywhere. Everyone is experiencing it. So it would sound more, I don't know, serious to me. So popular, it has more positive connections. And yes, that was my feedback for you, Maria. Other than that, like everything was really good. Danny, I really liked your answers as well, and you just realized you weren't relevant and you stopped. I think that is a very important skill as well. Yes, maybe after my feedback session, you can repeat. I can listen. Farzine, your terminology was really good. Your timing can be a bit longer, like could have been a bit longer. It was around 1 minute. So you could have said more things. And it's very good that you're using complex grammar structures and some connecting, linking words. But sometimes you repeated some phrases a lot. For example, like due to which. Like I heard that a lot in your speech. Maybe you can try to use different alternatives, like due to which, because of that, that's why, therefore, kind of. So you can use various connecting words. That would be better. Gutami, your comparison was very good in your speech. I heard self-correction and your timing was around 2 minutes. That was very good too. So I can also realize that you're improving all the time. So now I'll share these are my feedback for today. I'll share the survey form with you. Before you go, please fill that form. Dave, before you, I want to hear Danny's speech one more time because he couldn't complete it. While you are filling the survey form, and Danny can can talk again. Yes, Danny, I can listen to you.
Okay, let me talk about the rise of water on sea. People really don't talk about this issue. It's a very underrated environment issue, which is created by the melting of snow in Himalayas. Is the temperature of Earth goes on increasing due to different factors like global warming, emission of smoke, the most. Nowadays, it has been a serious problem of country like Maldives, which is really on the verge of extinction. Besides the small island, the mountains, the beautiful mountains are also losing its natural beauty, which may alter the mountain ecosystem and biodiversity. And in result, it might lead to a serious problem in future. I think it's not only the matter of countries which are nearer to the sea, but first of all, the attention of rest of the world is necessary for this problem. That's all.
Okay. Yes, that was better. That was longer. And that was more organized. Thank you, Danny, for trying again. My name is Seray, Seray. And Gutami, I say, like, sometimes you hesitate to speak. You say, like you gave thank you, Pema. You gave very like long pauses. Instead, like think beforehand, organize what will you say, and then start speaking, okay? You can use that time. Because when you hesitate about what you're gonna say, your fluency is affected. You don't sound natural. So I would like to hear more fluent speech in your sentences. Okay, good. Yes, Dave.
I want to ask, during the speaking exam, are we allowed to have a paper and a pen? Because I like to list out my points and arrange them in the way I would like to speak.
Mm-hmm. I like there can be some changes, so I don't want to mislead you, to be honest. And can I answer that, or maybe you can write that question in your survey form so we can give you a better idea. You can write down your email address as well, and we can reach you so we can give you a better answer for that, for the exam environment. Because of coronavirus and everything has been changing. I don't want to mislead you about that.
Okay, I have one other doubt. I don't know if you were serious about it. You said I was speaking like I was reading from a book. Do you really think I was reading from a book, or it was just an exaggeration?
No. Like your like speech was very, I don't know, cohesive, as if like a paragraph. It's a skill, I think, as if you're reading. I mean, because in reading we see those paragraphs very organized and very cohesive in written things. That's why I feel that. So it's not like I blame you for something. It's just how it feels, and it's very good. It's very organized.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thing I'm saying it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm really bad in speaking. I will come with organized and next time. Thank you very much. That's a good reflection too. So thank you for coming. Pema, I say like you can come up with more more ideas about the topics. Okay, so you can extend your speech by using connecting words, by using real examples, and sometimes rephrasing your sentences. Okay, I don't like it was a bit short for a 2 minutes of extended speech. Okay, so please try to say as many sentences as you can about a topic, but in an organized way. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. Next speaking session will be on Saturday, but the other days we'll have other practice sessions for reading, writing. Please follow our Clasital website and our social media accounts so you can follow all the free sessions. Okay? Goodbye, everyone.